Yo, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. AA Fitness Live every Sunday, 12 Eastern Time. Today we are talking about why 3 sets of 10 is failing you. The real rep ranges you need for muscle hypertrophy. But first,
update. All right, James, I think we have one very exciting update for them. But first, how's the bulk going?
well, it's Thanksgiving this week, so, bulk went very well. Kylie's on. Welcome back, Kylie. Yeah, and I'm not bulking. I'm leaning out for the ski trip.
That is true.
But we went up in weight this week. Obviously, it was Thanksgiving, which I planned for. What I didn't plan for was breakfast the next day. My brother and his family were up from Tennessee, so we all went out to breakfast on Black Friday.
You guys, that's not all we did on Black Friday. There was a video filmed. I'm really excited. A collaboration with his nephew that you guys are going to see. When will they see that? Like mid-December?
Right around Christmas.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. It was so much fun filming that for sure.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And breakfast was awesome.
And a reminder, if you're watching on Instagram and you want your comments answered, jump over YouTube. We'll answer it on YouTube. We can't keep up with both platforms, unfortunately.
My bulk went very well this Thanksgiving and Black Friday at breakfast. I'm up like almost 6 pounds, which a lot of people are like, oh my goodness. Even one of my clients this morning was like, yeah, when I first read that, I was like, oh my gosh. But then I read, you wrote, don't panic. This is mostly water weight. Yep. And that's exactly what it is, you guys. But you do have to stop and recalibrate. You can't just keep on eating, because then it will become real weight.
Yes, so remember Thanksgiving and Black Friday breakfast was very heavy. And what's the second half of the word carb? Carbohydrate. Mm-hmm. Carbs make you hold water. So once again, this is mostly water weight. It's not fat. I
kind of use that to my advantage. I definitely trained legs on Friday after eating all those heavy carbs. So, I was PRing all my sets there. So that was exciting.
Fantastic.
Yeah. What other updates do we have for them, James?
All right, the big one, the huge one, the one we're excited about. We open memberships, y'all. 88 Fitness Training memberships.
I am really excited for this. And really, I want to thank you guys because we promised you, if you helped us reach 10,000 subscribers, we would launch memberships for you guys. So today we actually went ahead and did it. So if you go to our page, you will now see a join button on there and you can click it and see the different tiers of membership. So, but yeah, I'm very excited and just thank you guys for helping us get to this point so far.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, excuse me, I'm trying to adjust the phone so we can both get in the picture, but it just isn't working.
Yeah. So with memberships, there's 3 levels. So our bronze level is $2.99, so very affordable. And with that, you guys get early access to all of our videos that go on the site. So instead of having to wait, as they drop in real time, you can actually see the whole library. So if you go on there, you're going to see most of December right now. Not only that, we have loyalty badges that you guys can earn. But the one that I'm really excited for is custom emojis, you guys. So, yeah, James just dropped one in the thing, like our logo here. We turned it into an emoji for you. So only members will have access to those. I'm pretty excited. The bronze level also will have a member-only live chat option for you guys, as well as priority replies. So when we're responding to comments on videos, you guys will get the replies first. Our bronze level is one up. You get all the stuff I just talked about. But in addition to that, you're going to see a lot of behind the scenes photos. So all those photos that me and James are taking as we're filming or as we're doing contest prep, you're not going to find them anywhere else. So only in that membership section. And the part that I'm probably most excited about is member polls. Hey. So we get to take your direct feedback and turn that back into what types of videos we should film next. Anything you're interested in, there'll be tons of different polls for you guys. Yep. And then you'll also have access to members only shorts. So short format videos that only you guys can see. There's already one in there. So if you join, click membership today and join, you will see that.
That's probably going to be most of the answers to your questions will be short videos if we can get it in short format. If we can't answer your question, we'll put it in long format. But again, it's only going to be in the members only area.
Yeah, that's why I'm so excited for that, because it gives you a little more access to James and I one-on-one. Like if you have questions, we'll actually film content back for you guys. And then our gold membership, that's the $12.99 membership, gets you all that other stuff. But you also will have members only live streams. And so those live streams will occur 15 minutes before this one, but it'll be a lot smaller of a group. So it'll feel a lot more personable, a lot more one-on-one. Like we can actually talk about your training and challenges that you specifically are having.
Yeah.
And then of course you'll get all the other members only deep dive videos and content, member shout outs, that kind of stuff. So that was a lot, but if you go on our site and you click join, you can see the breakdown of the different levels and what you get. So exciting.
Yeah, very excited about this. Go ahead and join y'all. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Yes.
Hassan is back. Aileen is back. What's up, Aileen?
Hey.
Hassan's firing away with a fantastic question already.
Yes,
Hassan said, is there anything optimal? Is there anything optimal sets, as everyone has different body types?
We are going to talk about that today, Hassan. So I'm really excited because, you know, we've been kind of piecemealing this to you guys over the last months or years, but today we're going to pull it all into one live video. So we've already covered the fundamentals to hypertrophy, but today we're going to talk about exactly how many reps you need to be doing, how many sets you need to be doing, and how much weekly volume is adequate to build those muscles. So
Yes.
One video to cover them all.
Hey. And once again, if you're watching on Instagram and you're dropping comments, go ahead and drop over to YouTube. Drop your comments. We can only keep up with the comments on the YouTube right now.
Yeah. Before we jump into sets, let's actually talk about rep ranges, because this is where I think most people go wrong, right? They either stay in the wrong rep ranges or they use the same rep ranges for every single muscle group, which makes zero sense. And so that's why we're going to cover it.
Photo 80s Jeff, welcome back, Jeff. I ate an entire box of chicken and the biscuit crackers. Balky.
They must have been good, Photos 80 Jeff. They must have been good.
Reds 88, that's Big Cherry, baby. Failure is the goal. Yes, it is. Native Grit, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, so let's go down and talk about, you know, rep range breakdown. You know, prior to taking the hypertrophy class I was in, if you asked me like, well, what is a good strength building rep range? I probably would have told you anything 5 or less, right? Because that's kind of what we were been taught. In reading a lot of the literature that was provided in that course, they propose that strength building rep range is actually somewhere around the 1 to 3, because that's what's creating that central nervous system kind of fatigued or focus, if you will. So that's really a good rep range, I would say, for strength. And it's not necessarily focused on hypertrophy. So what do you think about that, James?
Pretty common. It's been around forever. 1 to 5, 1 to 3, whatever you want to call it. Keep your reps low and your weight heavy if you're working for strength.
Yeah. So then this brings me to the reps for hypertrophy. Most people, when they're talking this, are like, hey, I'm just going to go do 3 sets of 10. So the question is 10 reps actually adequate? So in doing a lot of the research I did, the real hypertrophy range actually can be as low as 4 and as high as 16, even 20 reps, you guys. But if we're talking, what is that sweet spot? I would go with what James and I always preach in our videos, which is usually 6 to 12 reps, right? I think James uses 6 to 10. I say 6 to 12, but that's the sweet spot. This is like where you're guaranteed hypertrophy will occur if you train intense enough.
All right, let's back up just 1 second here. Welcome back, Dave. Dave and Buster's on. Welcome back. All right, we're talking about rep ranges. This is all out to failure rep ranges. If you're doing some bullocks, 3 sets of 10, well, that's 10. Put down the weight. No effort, no nothing. lightweight, not huffing and puffing, not sweating, there's no rep range that's going to build muscle.
This is true. This is true.
None of them are going to work. If you grab a set of 5-pound dumbbells and say, well, you said 3 sets of 10. I just did 3 sets of 10. How come I'm not blowing up, right? So let's start this right from the bat. These are hard sets to failure or very close to failure. I don't care what the rep range is.
Yeah. So again, if we're talking sweet spot, it could be anywhere from 4 to 16 reps. Your guaranteed hypertrophy will occur if you do them the way James just described. Now, a lot of people do higher reps. They're in that 16 to 20 range. That's still a good hypertrophy range. You know, it's great for certain muscle groups, and we're going to get into that and why you would do slightly higher. But definitely, you know, you got to be careful when you start going higher and ask yourself, am I still training intensely enough? And then in terms of anything over 20 reps, this is not efficient, right? So the fatigue is high on this. The pain is high on this. Your tension's really low. Remember what we said, the number one driver to hypertrophy was mechanical tension, heavy ass weights. So training with higher than 20 reps really has no place kind of in your workout, in my opinion.
Hey. Angel back. Welcome back, Angel. Appreciate you, brother. Native Grit, I think Garanda hit 8 sets 8 workout. Is that correct? I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Okay.
That could work though, Native Grit, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit here.
Yeah, I know 8 sets of 8, but I don't know what Garanda is. If you want to follow up, Native Grit. Hassan, if you had to pick one number, what would it be? Is it 6 reps, 8 reps, 10 reps, or 12 reps with failure? So I watched Dorian Yates this week, and I loved it because we're actually talking about it right now. Everybody wants that magical number. They want to lock down a magic number. Well, it's bullocks, right? I don't care what you're doing. If you hit your 6th rep and you're not going to failure, go to 8. If you hit 8 and you're still not at failure, go to 10.
Well, let me say, if we're talking about 6, 8, 10, or 12, but failure, all out, concentric failure, I would pick 6 because you're probably lifting an even heavier weight than you would be at 12.
That makes logical sense. Yes, it does. And it's more efficient. But once again, you got to go to failure, you know, years and years and years. And look around the gym, who's working hard. It's very few people. Look around the gym, who's going to failure. It's very few people. They're doing, like I said, like Dorian Yates said, I want a magical number. Well, 3 sets of 10, there's that magic number. I did it. I'm going to blow up because Dorian Yates said it, right? I'm going to blow up because 88 Fitness, it's bullocks. Put your effort in.
Gut-busting effort.
Hard with heavy weights. There is no magical number, especially if that's the hack you're looking for. You're already going down the wrong road. Go in there and bust your butt, then worry about your reps, right? All right, where are we at here? Aileen, I'm still going to try 26 reps with 225. Oh, yeah! Get some, Aileen. Have you tried it yet? I'm wondering how many you got. Hassan, yes, Vince Garanda did 8 to 8 back in the 70s with 30-second rests in between sets. Vince Garanda, the old school bodybuilder.
That would be pretty brutal with only 30 seconds rest. If you're going all out gut-busting effort to failure. Woo!
You're going to have to lighten your weight, I would assume. Especially if your first set's 8 and failure. Huh. Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
So Hassan asked how many heavy sets a muscle needs. Well, you know, we need to be lifting as heavy as possible. I would say 65 to 85% of our 1 rep max, because what happens is when you come right out the gate and you're lifting at 65 to 85% of your 1 rep max, you're pulling in all 3 of your different muscle fiber types. And we already know, because you guys have been listening, our type 2 fibers have the most potential for growth, but they kind of fire off in sequence, right? So we're not even pulling those in until last. So that means you can't just lift heavy or light and expect to pull those muscles in. You would be doing so many reps, it would hurt. So lift heavy right out the gate, 85 to 60 or 65 to 85% of your 1 rep max. And that's how heavy you need to go to get that muscle to grow.
Yeah, well said. Aileen did 22 reps with 225 pounds. That's beast, Aileen, my man. That's fantastic, brother. Now I got to do more. Dang. Good job, Aileen. That's beast, brother.
Is this an 88 challenge I'm sensing for those that can bench 225?
Maui, welcome back. My favorite chat. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. So I did that video because I heard, I saw a buddy of mine said there's a social media trend, 225 for 10. And I knew a bunch of guys were going to go out there, blow 10 out of the water and say 225 isn't nothing, get real, blah, blah, blah. But I can tell you it was very hard for me to get 10 reps at 225 pounds. If you have not seen the video, it took me 3 whole years. And I wanted to put that out there for anybody struggling with 1 rep at 225, because I know there's going to be hundreds of guys out there blowing 10 reps out of the water saying you ain't nothing, blah, blah, blah. But believe me, 225 for 10 is huge. And I know how hard it is to get there. Yes, I did 26 reps, but I know how hard it was for me to get to the 10 rep range at 225.
And James would not be doing that for hypertrophy. James would actually be lifting a lot heavier and a lot less reps. In fact, the fact that he did that means anytime he's benching, that 225 is probably a warm-up weight, right?
Yep, you got it. Aileen shaking like crazy. Yeah, so was I, brother. If you watch the video, you see my legs shaking there. Hassan, no, I mean, how many sets for muscle per week? I like Class Saxion 1978's answer right here. Yes. So I'm going to read it. And thank you for tuning in. Any rep range works as long as you take your sets to or close to failure. I don't think we need to overthink this too much. It's also a good idea to do mesocycles with both high and low reps. That's a fantastic answer. And I'm going to say it again. So many people want that magical number. The people that want the magical number aren't putting the effort in. I can tell you that right now. They have it in their head. If I do this magical number, it's going to work no matter what effort I put in, right?
Yeah.
Good answer, Class. I'm not messing this name up. Class Axion 1978. Fantastic answer. I love that.
Yeah, just from a coaching experience, I have a client, I think the moment I told them 6 to 12 was the hypertrophy range, in their mind, they said, okay, I can get away with the bare minimum 6. But the part that they were missing is that gut busting effort. And as their coach, I constantly say, hit more reps, even if they're at, lengthened partials or whatever, and they still don't do it. So now as their coach, guess what they're doing? Supersets. They're doing supersets because I already know they're going to stop at 6 on the squat. So what do they get in addition to that? They get the leg extension for yet another 6. So this is how we're kind of hitting the appropriate range by supersetting it, just because mentally I know they have a block where they're going to do the bare minimum rep range. So if this is you, that sounds like something you're doing, please stop doing that. Actually go for it. Put the work in. It's going to hurt, but you're going to grow.
If you've ever been a trainer, if you've ever been in the fitness industry, here's a test. We're going to take the set to failure and don't even add the weights up, right? The set before, it's the same weight. You failed at 6 because I told you to do 6. Now we're going to go to failure. I guarantee you your client's going to do more than 6 reps. I guarantee it, even though they just supposedly failed at 6. It's a mental block. You told me to do 6 to failure. Oh, that 6th one, I failed. All right, we're not going to 6. We're going to failure. And I'm going to keep you going until you actually fail this time. Angel, I prefer sandwich sets, pyramid sets, little rest between sets, and upping the weight each set. Ooh, baby. The only downfall, let's see what that means. Great workout. The only downfall is you're going to tax your cardiovascular system, most likely before you hit failure, unless you have serious cardio, which I do not. Dave and Buster, you're not a robot. Every week is different. Use reps as an average. I like that as well. Yep. Hassan, how many working sets do you recommend for exercise?
Hassan,
why it's always
answers.
3 everywhere? Hassan, you got your pen and paper out, and you're just waiting for that magical number, aren't you, buddy?
That's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's, once again, you should try to learn as much as you can. But I'm going to say it just like Dorian Yates, it's bullocks. If you're not in there hitting it hard, then you're not going to do it. I don't care what rep range you're doing.
Do you guys actually get commercials on our live video too?
Oh, okay.
Because we just continuously talk for the whole hour, so we never see that. So that's interesting. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about rep ranges by muscle group, because in my experience, in my own coaching experience, not all muscles are the same. Some require more reps and others you could probably do less reps. So let's start with, say, abs, right? This is everyone's favorite thing to train.
Hassan, get your pen and paper out, baby.
So in my experience, when you are doing weighted abs, so maybe that's decline sit-ups with a weight or hanging leg raises and you're holding a weight, you probably want that normal hypertrophy range that we were just talking about, right? The 6 to 12 rep range. Now, if you're doing floor work, that tells me you're probably not getting deep stretch across those abdominals. You're probably not doing a lot of heavy weighted floor work. So you're gonna have to take it up to near concentric failure, which means more reps. So you're probably doing that 12 to 20 rep range, right? And if you are doing those floor exercises and you're banging out 20 reps, it's time to either add weight or pick a more challenging exercises where you can add the weight, you can stretch while under load, and move over a great distance. What do you think about that when you train abs? What do you tell your clients to do?
Agreed, 100%. If you're progressive overloading, like adding weight, yes, you're going to do less reps. You're going to be in the hypertrophy range. But if you're doing, body weight stuff like sit-ups, you're probably going to have to do more than, 6 to 12.
Yeah.
All right, Angel, yes. Aileen, yes. Apparently, there are commercials. We apologize, but that's how we make money, y'all.
This is true.
It will help the channel because we reinvest all the money we make back into this channel. Right now, we're not making enough to have an income, so we invest it back into the channel. So apologize for the ads, but that's how we make money. Now, if you train every day, the number of sets may be less than if you train 4 times a week. The most important thing is 1 to 2. What's RIR?
Reps in reserve.
Reps in reserve for each set. So yeah, taking it very close to failure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's well said. You train less per week. You're probably going to do more each workout. Mm-hmm. Very good. Aileen, for abs and calves, I don't count reps. I go for 5 to 10 minutes total. Oh my goodness, total time. That's going to burn, baby. Hey, calf raises for 5 minutes. I think my calves would combust.
But that's hard, Aileen. So how do you know you're progressive overloading week to week? Like, are you adding time to that or just documenting the intensity? Like, how do you track that? Because I would have a hard time, especially like on calves or abs, knowing like when enough is enough in that case.
Man, if I did 5 minutes of sit-ups, I've had ab cramps for a month.
Yeah, I can barely get through my weighted sets, in that 6 to 12 hypertrophy range most days.
Yep.
When it comes to back,
it is hard.
Yeah. When it comes to back, realistically, we probably are looking somewhere in that 4 to 16 rep range. And the reason I say that is because if you're doing deadlifts, let's just say, as one of your back exercises, it's a compound lift. It is nasty. I mean, you guys should be lifting a lot of weight. And you're moving at a pretty good distance too. So in that case, 4 to 10 reps is probably adequate. But if you're only doing 4, it better be all out, like I'm about to stroke out because this weight was so heavy kind of thing. And then next week, go back and maybe lighten it just slightly so you can get slightly higher rep range. But in general, your compound lifts are going to have a smaller rep range profile than some of your isolation exercises.
Well said. Mm-hmm. Hassan, which split do you follow, James? I do the bro split, 1 body part a week, 5 days a week, 2 days rest, but I'm flexible. So if I need 3 days rest, I will take 3 days rest. I don't think I've ever taken 4 days rest. So if I need another rest day, I will take another rest day, but I'm on a bro split, 1 body part a day, 2 rest days a week. Yeah. Aileen said it's hard, and he progressively overloads. He adds weights when it gets easy.
All right. Well, that's a good way.
All right. Maui, abs equals diet, right? You are correct. So you can do sit-ups all day long. You can work abs all day long. If they're covered in fat, you're never going to see them.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you get so lean, everything else is striated and there's no abdominals there, okay, maybe you're the rarest person ever that has to work abs and build up that tissue. But for most people, yes, it's diet. Unfortunately.
Yes, I have seen very, very rare, but I have seen where the stomach is flat, but it's still missing the 6-pack.
Yeah.
It's rare, but I've seen it, and you just have to go back and keep working those abs just like any other muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Aileen, 5 minutes with a 150-pound calf raise. So, yeah, it's humbling.
Mm-hmm.
Man, 5 minutes. Ooh, babe, I'm telling you, mine would combust. They would. They'd catch on fire right there on the calf raise.
Yep, for sure. Biceps, again, that's going to be your 6 to maybe as much as 16. I know there's some schools of thought there. They're like, hey, you should be doing like 25, 30 reps on your curls. There's no research that supports that. I get it if it's a finisher and you're doing, let's say, like bicep curl drop set, you might hit 30 reps, but not at the same weight, and it should not be all of your working sets, right? So keep those back down in that 6 to 16 range. And again, once you're getting that upper range, like you're past 12, it's time to really start thinking about upping that weight. Remember the example I gave you guys, it was preacher curls. I can hit, 15, 16 reps with the 25s, but when I tried to jump to 30, I'm like barely getting 4, right? So in that case, I think it's fine to do the 4 and work on it, or vice versa. Like maybe you stay at the lower weight, but you do slightly more reps up to that 16 range until you can jump the 5-pound increment. Or get the magnetic weights like Aileen and others have. But that's why you have that flexibility. But again, once on arms especially, once you kind of hit 12, start looking to jump up in weight if you can. If not, go all the way up to that 16.
Yep. Maui, yes, I found that out. I mean, there's a lot of examples. Look at Eddie Hall. When he starts to cut down, you can see his six-pack like crazy. Thor, again, same thing. When he was bulked up doing the strongman stuff, no six-pack. But as soon as he leans out, six-pack comes back out. There's tons of NFL linemen that retire, and then a year later, they're ripped to shreds and got a six-pack when they were, 400 pounds forever. But you're never going to see your abs if they're covered in fat.
Yes.
Hassan, is there any criteria for split? Some recommend push, pull, legs. Others chest back, then shoulders, arms, legs, other bro split. We definitely have a video on this. I believe it's live.
Yeah, it's a live video. You can go back and check that out.
Scroll back and check it out, Hassan. There's definitely an answer in that video. Dave and Buster, not working your abs will lead to a weak core. Yes, it will. Now your injury risk is elevated. Mm-hmm. Yes, same with lower back. If you don't do any lower back, your core is weak.
Yeah, it's going to hold back your squat weight, your deadlift weight, your RDL weight. It's going to hold back a lot of different lifts that you need to build that hypertrophy. So agree, you got to train abs and train them hard.
Agree. Angel, just push yourself harder than last time. Mm-hmm. Way to keep it simple. That's the simplest way to put it. And you will make gains. Push yourself harder than your last workout. Most of the time, that's an extra rep or an extra weight.
Exactly.
But as long as you're pushing yourself harder every single time, you're going to make those gains. Well said, Angel. Native Grit, due to medical conditions, I try to keep my workouts at zone 2 heart rate, if that makes sense. Yeah, you got to keep your heart rate down.
I mean, I think just taking a slightly longer rest period in between sets will help you stay there and allow you to lift pretty intensely still. But just monitor that you're not building up that pressure and holding your breath while you're doing some of those heavy lifts.
And good on you, Native Grit, for keep going, baby. With heart issues, and you're in there in the gym, keep going. So many people would hang up the glove and say, "I'm done. I got a heart issue. I'm done." But good on you, baby. That's fantastic.
All right. When it comes to training triceps, I think there's a little bit of a difference on whether you're training overhead or whether you're training in a push down position. So when you're overhead, you're in a weaker kind of position, right? You're stretched at the shoulder joint as well as the elbow joint. So usually your rep range is going to be slightly less. Like I would say you're in that kind of 6 to 10 rep range. It's nasty. If anyone's ever done overhead tricep extensions on the cable, it's nasty. If you're doing a push down though, you're able to pull in a lot of other muscles and you can use some of your body weight and some of your core. So you probably want a higher rep range. In that case, maybe 10 to 16. So yeah, just something to think about. Not only that, people can get pretty far in the stack when they're doing triceps that way. So definitely load up with extra reps. Chest, what do you think about chest?
Go hard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously your presses are going to be a little higher rep range, I would say, or lower rep range than your flies. Flies are an isolation exercise. So anytime you're doing an isolation, you want a slightly higher rep range. So stick to 6 to 12 on your presses. And I think it's okay if you go 10 all the way up to 16 on your flies, as long as you're still lifting heavy and getting that stretch.
Yeah, I like to keep it simple. Like Red said earlier, go to failure. Like Angel said, just push yourself harder than last time. It really is that simple. People try to complicate it, science it up, look for that magic number, but it really is truly that simple. I don't care what body part. I don't care what exercise. It truly is that simple. All right. Hassan, do side delts need the same number of reps as front delts?
It's a good question. I would say you could maybe get away with a little less on front delt and a little higher on side and rear. But again, that's just my opinion.
All right. Free Weight Fury. Welcome, Free Weight Fury. 6 foot, 295 pounds. You are humongous. 9% body fat. You are seriously humongous, my man. I've been tracking everything for the past year via AI. Well, AI is crap. I'll tell you that right now. I've gone from 260 last year at that show to now. I compete in May, and I'm super focused. Figured I would share. Fantastic, brother. That is awesome, man. You're down 35 pounds. What, do you know your body fat?
Yeah, he said 9%.
At 295. Okay. You know your body fat currently? Because you're doing, I said AI is crap, but from those numbers, you're doing pretty darn good, brother.
What bodybuilding class is he in at 260?
Yeah, and what show are you doing in May? I'm interested now.
Yeah.
Baby. You're monstrous, so I want to see what's up.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in our community tab, you guys can post pictures of yourselves and your workouts and whatever you want. So that would be great if you post a picture. We'd love to track your progress.
Yeah, outstanding, yeah. Danique, welcome, Danique. Hard and heavy, about 6 to 10 for me on the press. Yep. Photos there, you get that money.
Must have been a commercial. All right, let's talk quads. What do you think about quads?
Legs typically need higher reps.
Especially on your isolations, your leg curl, your leg extensions. You know, those should be anywhere from like 10 to 20 reps. Your heavy squats, hack squats, all of that. I think you can stay in that 6 to 12 range because that means you're doing quality work at very high intensities. But yeah, I would definitely think about higher rep ranges on those isolations for legs.
Yep. Welcome back, Caesar. Thank you. Appreciate it.
In terms of hamstrings are pretty easy to damage. So you might be able to get away with a little less reps than you could on quads. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed this, but I can pretty much hit quads all the way up to 20 reps. It's nasty, and I'll still be like kind of sore the next day. But if I try the same thing on hamstrings, they are wrecked for days and days and days. So just keep that in mind when you're training. Those pull muscles are a little more susceptible to damage than your push muscles, your quads.
All right, Free Weight Fury. Yep, super heavy on masters. I'm back to 295 now. Doctors of Shock actually keep the waist tight. Haven't picked the show yet. NPC schedule not out yet. NPC schedule doesn't come out to January, if you guys don't know that. For the next year, I don't know why. You can kind of guess if you look the year before. Most of them kind of try to keep the same dates, but the official schedule doesn't come out until May. What? Okay. Free Weight Fury, you're that big. I'm definitely going to say you're a bodybuilder, bro. I'm looking at possibly getting back into it October, November after I turn 50 next year. But again, we got to wait for the schedule to come out.
And I will definitely be hitting a national show. I have one picked out. I want to do USA Masters in November time. I really hope they move back to Arizona, but they were just out in Las Vegas, so we'll see. But I'll be excited for that show next year.
Yeah, and I'm a Classic Physique Pro, so I'm very curious to see. I hope you got videos because I'm going to check you out for your Chicago Bees, you guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Welcome back, Chicago Bees. Appreciate you tuning in, man.
And I see Natalie's on Instagram.
Hey,
Natalie. Let's talk about glutes, especially for my females out there listening. We know we love training glutes. We always need bigger glutes. You know, in terms of hip thrusts, That's a great activation exercise. I think you can get away with 4 to 12 because the idea is that we're loading up those glutes. But when it comes to lunges or some type of like kickback or press down, we definitely want to be in a higher rep range. I would say 10 to 16, maybe even as much as 20. Like glutes really respond better to higher rep ranges. And then if you're doing inner outer thigh, I think you can stick into the same thing, like 10 to 20 reps for inner outer thigh. Calves are stubborn, you guys.
They're very stubborn.
You are going to need heavier rep ranges or higher rep ranges on calves, and you're going to need to go very heavy on that. So don't be afraid to get all the way up to 20 reps on the calves. I think that's perfectly fine. Once you get up all the way to 20, start adding more weight, and see what you can do. But yeah, I mean, I hope the takeaway here for you guys is that not all muscle groups grow the same, and they're not always going to be at the same rep range. So if you're doing your 3 sets of 10 reps, you're probably holding yourself back because some of those muscles need more reps, like the side delts, the rear delts, the glutes. And others don't, like the hamstring. So, it really just depends. So hopefully you took good notes. And if you are the one doing constant 3 sets of 10, are you progressive overloading? Are you adding weight every week at that same rep range? Because that's what you would have to basically be doing to ensure that you're achieving hypertrophy.
Yeah, even if you're not anywhere near it, you're eventually going to get to where you need to be as long as you progressive overload every workout. Free Weight Fury, just subscribe. Appreciate it, brother. Very much appreciate the support. Danique, yes, glutes. Work those glutes.
What is it with the glutes? Why did the classic guys not? Do you guys care about the glutes? I mean, you still can see them, especially at the IFBB Pro, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe the guys just have better glutes genetically.
Nobody wants flat missing glutes, right? But you don't want them too big either, in my opinion. And I've said this before, Bumstead's glutes were humongous. My man could have done wellness with the glutes he's got, but nobody said a word. Nobody knocked him for it. He didn't get judged down for it. So,
hey, I'll take his glutes.
all you guys out there, it looks like we can grow those glutes maximum as well. So Bumstead did it. He didn't get knocked down. We just got to have them striated, whereas the ladies do not.
Yeah.
Free Weight Fury, I love the belt squats, 500 pounds for reps, wide sumo style. Burn,
baby.
My head training 2 days a week, but extreme 5 days rest. Then boom, Friday, Saturday are crazy total bodies. My man, get it, baby. See, Caesar, thank you.
All right, so we're going to close the chapter on the reps. You heard it from James. You can achieve hypertrophy almost at any rep range as long as you're progressive overloading. And just remember what we said, not all muscle groups are created equal. They do need a little bit of customization in there.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about volume. There's different ways to look at volume, right? You can make it very complex, which would be like every rep times every weight that you're doing for the week. That's great, but what does that number mean at the end of the day? So most people don't think of volume that way. So I would say volume is simply the number of hard gut-busting effort sets that you've done per muscle per week. So that's how I like to think about volume.
Well said. And if it's not a hard gut-busting set, you just wasted your time.
Yeah. And so volume is not the total weight that you lifted, because nobody gives a crap about the weight that you lifted. Only that we only care about the intensity. And it's not
true.
Yeah.
You can add up your total and tell me you lifted 4,000 pounds. I don't care.
And it's not about the number of reps you did. So all that stuff we just told you, no one cares. And it's not how long you trained. So we don't care if you were in the gym for 2 hours. That means diddly squat.
Correct.
All right. So it's simply the number of hard sets that you did per muscle per week. And we're talking about hard sets close to failure. So that's that 1 to 2 reps in reserve, if you will. So that begs the question, what counts as volume though, right? So we already said it has to be the set taken near to close failure. So if you're going in the gym and you're counting your 3 sets of 10 as 3 sets of weekly volume, did you warm up? Like, you probably didn't, you had to not warm up for those sets to count. So there's no way that you're hitting it right.
Once again, if you're looking for that magic number, you need to change your mindset. It's not a magic number. It's effort. It's intensity.
Yeah. And the other thing to think about is most of your lifts pull in other muscle groups, right? So if you're doing bench, for instance, your chest is working, your front delts are working, your triceps are working. Your triceps are probably working pretty hard. So a good rule of thumb is that, you know, I like to think of the 30% contribution rule, which maybe it's hard to kind of figure out. But if that muscle feels really fatigued after you did your set, you put weekly training volume on that muscle group. Right?
Yes, I have a perfect example for that. So when I do bench press on the barbell, my chest gets extremely sore and I don't feel anything in my triceps. However, if I do bench press with the dumbbells, my chest, yes, gets sore, but so do my triceps. They get extremely sore when I switch to the dumbbells. So you are absolutely doing a couple different muscles with your compound exercises. I think Dave and Buster mentioned that last week. I don't remember why, but you're definitely going to recruit different muscles. And the closer you get to failure, the more muscles you're going to recruit.
Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. When I do barbell bench press, I feel those triceps the next day. So that volume in that triceps absolutely does count towards my weekly tricep volume. So I have to count it, especially those sets at failure. Like I'm going all out, everything's shaking, they're working.
Mark, Fitness and Games. Welcome, Mark. Hey, I found that I was having shoulder pain from too many push-ups and bench press without pulling. Now I do 2 sets pulling, each set pushing. Now the pain is gone. What do you think about this? I think you had a muscle imbalance.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Sounds like a muscle imbalance and you fixed it. Good job.
So let's talk about some of the other exercises. Example, when you're doing some type of row for back, you know, you've got your lats working, your rear delts are working. A lot of times your biceps are working really hard, right? Absolutely. So we have a video. Gosh, when does that drop? It drops in a couple weeks. It's a back exercise where James is doing close grip, lat pull downs. To failure. He's got the whole stack in there. So guarantee his biceps are getting a lot of that strain and stress as well as his back. Let's squats. You obviously have quads, but you have a lot of glutes, right?
Hamstrings, glutes, lower back, core.
So your quads are fully stretched in the squat, but so are your glutes. It's one of the best glute building exercises. So if you're doing squats, you should definitely count that towards weekly glute volume too. And then any type of presses, again, we talked about the delts, we talked about the triceps getting in there. So you're hitting way more volume per muscle group than you actually think you are.
Yep. All right, Achilles RPG 20. Welcome, Achilles. Agree, good to be here. We appreciate that, my man. Daniel 9296. Welcome. Well, thanks for tuning in. Where are y'all based out of? We are about 30 minutes north of Baltimore. If you're from the United States, you know where that is. If you're from out of the country, we're about an hour and a half north of Washington, D.C. So we're in Maryland, but just barely. We're right next to Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey.
I love that about Maryland. We can go anywhere.
All right, Aileen, if you're not shaking and almost pooping, that set doesn't count.
That might just be an old age thing for us, Aileen. I don't know.
I don't know about the pooping part, but you definitely have a point. I said it earlier. Look around the gym. How many people are actually shaking, going to failure? How many are sweating? I'm in the freeway section looking around. I'm the only one sweating. I'm going, what the heck is going on here?
Well, I think a lot of people don't feel comfortable in their gym atmosphere doing that, right? Like you go to Planet Fitness, you and I have talked about this. We're trying to tiptoe around. Like most of our very best sets and PRs are in our home studio where we're like beating on our chest. We're able to drop weight plates. So if you're holding yourself back because of your gym, maybe consider going to a more hardcore gym.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I'm not screaming at Planet Fitness like I am here at the house. Matter of fact, whenever I PR, I do it at the house. I don't even try it at Planet Fitness.
Yeah, you literally split up your workouts. You go to Planet Fitness and then come home and do the heavy work or vice versa.
Yeah, I will. That's a good point. I never even thought of that until now. All right. Native Gray, I do sometimes do, I think that's dumbbell bench followed by chest dips. Feels good. Yeah,
that's a good superset for sure.
Yep, I love doing dips for chest. That is one of my favorite chest moves. Dave and Buster, I use failure on a push muscle groups, but closer to total failure on pull muscle groups.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, let's talk about volume. Now, there are some nuances between beginner, intermediate, advanced. For instance, with a beginner, like one set could be greater or, not as good as 3 sets is not as good as 5 sets for a beginner. Beginners grow very rapidly and they're highly sensitive to volume. So the thing with it, if you're a beginner, you actually want to start with pretty low volume and then work your way up as you can deal with the recovery from the damage you're doing. Because what will happen is if a beginner comes right out the gate and they're like, I'm hitting 5 sets per muscle group because I want to grow fast, they're going to be overloaded and way too sore for way too long, and that's going to impede muscle growth. Whereas an advanced person, they need that extra volume, right? So you got to keep that in mind and weigh that out, especially with the beginners.
Yep. Joseph Martel, 2222. Welcome, Joe. How many times a week should you do side delts?
That's a good question.
It's a tough one.
I guess my question would be, is it a lagging muscle group? And we're going to cover what to do on your lagging muscle group. So hang with us for a few minutes here and maybe it'll answer your question.
Yeah. You got to remember also you're getting a lot of delts when you do chest day. So delts are pretty small muscles. They can recover pretty quickly. But if you're doing chest in the same week, it's going to be tough to do it twice a week. Possibly, maybe, but it'll be tough.
Right.
Achilles RPG 20 had back surgery, ready to start training. Primary focus to work on lower back muscles. What exercise would you do to strengthen your lower back? Welcome back. First of all, I'm glad you're getting back into it. Good luck on that. I think you should start with pretty nice, gentle, easy stuff like planks, maybe hyperextensions.
Yeah, I really like the back extension machine because you can kind of dial up the weight and you could do almost like rest pause sets. Allows you to get that intensity without lifting a heavy weight.
Yeah, I would start there and then build up before you go to straight leg deads and regular deads. But yeah, and good on you, man. Good on you. Get back into it, baby. Freeway Fury, highly recommend taking 40 grams of glutamine at night before bed. It helps me with recovery. Nice. Does it help you sleep? Because I need some help with that. That is good. And glutamine's been around forever, and it does help you recover. That's what it does. Lewis Strong Official. Welcome, Lewis. On that note, what do you think of reverse hypers? Sounds good. Appreciate it. You're welcome, RPG.
Like reverse hypers for abs? Is that a reverse hyper?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Look it up on your phone.
Yeah.
We're not sure what a reverse hyper is. Lewis Strong Official. We got to look it up. I see people flip and do sit-ups on the hyper. I don't know if that's a reverse hyper or I would just call it a sit-up. Hyperextension for your lower back. My bad. Reverse hyperextension for your lower back.
Yeah, I've used this machine before.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel a lot of glute when I do this particular machine, the reverse hypers.
Yeah. I've only seen the machine one time, to be honest with you, and that was when we went to
Dana Lynn Bailey's
gym. I used it and definitely felt the lower back, but I'm going to agree with Camille. I got a lot of glute in there as well. I would actually do it for my glutes if I did it. If I had to choose.
Yeah, build that dump truck. I need those C-bum glutes.
But I've only seen it at one gym, believe it or not. I've been in, hundreds of gyms.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about trained lifters. Now, oftentimes they're doing 6 sets, but keep in mind, like if you double that to 12, that doesn't mean double the gains, right? So with advanced lifters, quality matters a lot more than quantity. And I promise you, I'm going to tell you the actual recommended set ranges that I recommend. But I just want to point that out that in advanced lifters, you can't just double your set range. Like if you were doing 3 and all of a sudden do 6 or all of a sudden do 12, it doesn't work that way. So quality does matter.
Yeah, once again, it has to be a working set, close to failure or to actual failure or it's bullocks. I don't care what number it is. It's bullocks if you're not going hard, just like Camille just said.
Yeah, there was a study. It was called German volume training, where it's like 10 sets of 10. You know, this comeback failed, right? Like doing that much volume creates too much fatigue. It kills your performance. It kills the stimulus. It kills your gains, honestly.
I think about it. What year was that? Did that come out? It was before I started working out, which was in the 1990s.
You shouldn't say.
So even back when I started in 1990, the German volume training was out there. People were doing it. Listen, if it worked, everybody would do it today. Nobody does German volume training today. You know why? It doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, any set where your tension is dropping or form is breaking is wasted effort. It's just junk volume. I think too many people do too many junk sets and count them as quality work, but they're not. So that's where, you know, doing 10 sets of 10 or 12 sets and all that could, you know, be junk volume depending on where your tension is, right? We got to keep mechanical tension high, very, very high. It's that gut busting effort that we're talking about.
If you go back to Menser, and, you know, I'm a big fan of Menser, the German volume training, you should hit failure on your first set of 10. The rest of the 9 sets are junk volume. Not only junk volume, they're overtraining because you already hit your breakthrough set with the first one. You don't need to do another one.
Yeah, you got to keep that stimulus high and you got to manage the fatigue. You got to control it. And that's what creates that hypertrophy. All right, so in terms of weekly set recommendations from James and I, get the pencil ready.
Hassan, get your pen out, get your paper out, baby. Here it comes.
So if you are a beginner, so I would say a beginner is less than 2 years of total training time, I would recommend 4 to 12 sets per week per muscle group, all right? And then if you're recreational, so that's kind of your intermediate lifter, I would say 6 to 14 sets per week per muscle group. And now if you're advanced, so you're like me, James, Dave and Buster, Aileen, all those guys on there, you need to be doing 8 to 20 sets per week. And don't panic. This sounds like a lot, you guys, but remember what I said. Most lifts are not isolated to one muscle group. If you are feeling fatigued from, you know, another muscle group when you're doing, say, lat pull downs, you're feeling biceps, that volume does actually count on those breakthrough sets. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. I have to back up here a little bit and tell a little story. If you go hard and go to failure, you're not going to last long. So focus on going hard and going to failure instead of doing a certain amount of sets or a certain amount of reps. I was training Miguel for his bodybuilding show. We're doing legs. We're only halfway through the workout, but he took a set of leg press to absolute failure. And I'm talking grotesque, nasty failure. This is a bodybuilder. He's got 10 plus years under his belt. We took it to failure. It took him 10 minutes to get off the leg press. And do you think we did any exercises after that? No.
They weren't needed.
They were not needed. He was absolutely done. I think all we did was warm up and then the leg press, as a matter of fact. But once again, he was absolutely done, smoked. And that's the breakthrough set. You're done. You don't need to do any more than that. I don't think he physically could have, by the way, but you don't need to. So keep that in mind. It's not a magical number. And if you hit that absolute grotesque, nasty failure where you can't even stand up from the leg press for 10 minutes, go home, man.
Right.
Go home. Don't look at your paper and say, I got 2 more. I have to do 2 more sets.
Yeah, be smart. Right? Like he definitely stimulated his central nervous system to the max. You could tell just by how long it took him to get off that leg press. So that was definitely enough in time to go home.
And my man's got some wheels too, boy. Angel, if you're not eating enough, then all the lifting won't build the muscle you're hoping to gain.
This is true. Eating enough and resting enough, right?
Yep.
So in terms of rest, ideally you want to train each muscle. Like you should be able to train them again in 3 to 4 days. Like if not, you either did too much volume and not enough intensity. So relook it, honestly. But I'll say them again for you guys, just in case you missed it. If you're a beginner, 4 to 12 sets per week. If you're an intermediate lifter, 6 to 14. And if you are advanced, 8 to 20. And remember, this is over the course of the entire week. So many exercises compound this. But only the sets that were like your breakthrough sets, that 65 to 85% of your 1 rep max, are the ones that count. All the other sets don't count.
Your warm-up does not count. Go hard and make it count.
And once you hit that breakthrough set, go home. Don't do another set.
Right. I'm a wee Poundstone. Welcome back. I'm a wee Poundstone. I'm a late. It was back day for me. That's okay. Glad you caught the end of it here.
Yeah.
And I hope you blew your back up, baby.
All right. So we're going to move into a different topic now. I want to talk a little bit about regional hypertrophy. So we get a lot of questions on whether you can grow specific regions of a muscle. So you're probably wondering, like, why would I want to do this? And we do have some bodybuilders. This makes sense. Like, go ahead and make a bicep for me. Some people have a very big gap right here, right? So they're like, hey, how do I grow in more of this distal part of my bicep, right? So I'm here to tell you, you absolutely can. A lot of times when you focus on eccentrics, you are working on that distal part of the bicep or the muscle group. So you definitely can do that if that's something that you're looking for. So definitely train in those lengthened partials, those long muscle lengths, which a lot of times that means doing lengthened partials. It helps fill in those kind of regions for you.
Yeah, I think it was Ashley said, I love that we can build, certain spots in our body. Unfortunately, we can't spot reduce fat, but you can blow your shoulder. Hey, if this shoulder's smaller, let's go ahead and make it bigger. You're a sculptor. Your body is you're sculpting, right? So I love that you can do that with the hypertrophy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some comments. Freeway Fury, another cool trick. 30 grams of love citrulline. I don't think that's supposed to say love. Citrulline and niacin flush supplement will give you crazy pump and focus. Yeah, buddy. Angel, keep lifting, keep living, keep laughing. Have a good week. Thanks for tuning in, Angel. Appreciate you, brother. Dave and Buster, if you look at the ingredients for surgery supplements like Juven, it's glutamine and arginine. Glutamine is in protein powder. Citrulline is a precursor to arginine. Very nice.
Yes, it is.
Mike Tyson. Hey, Mike Tyson's on. What's up, Mike?
Reps till death.
Reps till death. I really like that. Reps till death.
That might be a new shirt we need to make. Reps to death.
I saw shirts at one of the coaches' shirts at a show said never end the set. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't end the set until you absolutely can't do anymore, and then end it. Freeway Fury, Dave Buster, good.
Yeah. All right. So going back to regional hypertrophy, again, if you're training in the long muscle length, you're going to grow more at the distal region. So for instance, if you wanted that space that we just showed on the biceps filled in, you want to do a lot of incline bicep curls because you're really stretched. If you're looking for maybe more lower hamstrings, the RDL is going to be where it's at because you're able to load really heavy loads with those muscles stretched. If you're looking for, let's say, lower glute, that part that kind of hangs out the bottom of the trunks or the bikini and contest prep, those are your deep lunges or deep squats, right? Like you got to get in the hole, break 90. But one thing I do want to point out is you can't really reshape the muscle. It is what it is. You can make it bigger, but you can't really reshape it per se. It's a genetic thing. It's how your body was built and designed. So it is what it is. And remember, you can't truly isolate different muscle groups and sections, but we can shift emphasis to different fibers and different areas somewhat. A good example is like inner chest, right? You can't isolate inner chest, but we definitely can hit it by training in the stretch position. Same thing with upper chest versus lower chest, that type of thing. And there's no changing your bicep peaks. I'm sorry. We can make them bigger, but we can't really change the shape. So if you're not happy with the shape, again, it kind of just is what it is.
Genetic makeup, right? Mike Tyson, how to grow traps if you're also lacking in it? Maybe genetics, probably, but I get this question a lot because I got pretty good traps. So they really blew up in, when I was in college doing cleans, heavy cleans. Boom. Hey,
thanks
Baker.
for the super thanks.
Appreciate that. Super thanks. All right. So yeah, power cleans just from your hips up to here. and I'm jerking the weight up, and it's heavy weight, so the traps really blew up doing that. I like hunt shrugs a lot, and upright rows superset with shrugs. Man, that's you want to
nasty.
You want to blow your traps up, do upright rows superset with shrugs. That's a really big one. But again, mine blew up from doing cleans. All right, when we pound stone, since I'm cutting, should I just stay with having mass for biceps? For example, thanks to you too, I included the incline dumbbell curls. All right.
Nice.
All right, what's the question here? Since I am cutting, should I just stay with having mass for biceps?
I don't understand the question. Yeah, I don't understand the question. Rephrase that to us.
Yeah. Mike Tyson, thank you, sir. You're very welcome. Radio J757, welcome, Radio. I tried front raises with cables after watching your video. Game changer. Thank you both. Oh, awesome,
yeah,
man.
Those are nasty for sure.
Glad we could help. And I love the front raises on the cables. They're fantastic.
I like all shoulder things, like front, side, and rear delt with the cable. I don't know if you guys caught James's rear delt bonus on the cables. That's an absolutely game changer for rear delts if you haven't tried it.
Yep. Dave and Buster got a question for everybody. So how many people are using citrulline in your recovery program? I use it pre-workout. I don't use it as a recovery.
I'm so jealous he makes his own subs. That's so awesome, Dave. Yeah, great questions, you guys. I love them. I love them all. All right, so let's pull it all together for you today because we are at the hour mark. Just remember, not all reps are created equal. You know, different muscle groups need different things. For instance, compound lifts, you're probably going to want a smaller rep range. That's that 4 to kind of like 10 rep range. Whereas isolation, you probably want a little more rep range. So I would say 10 to 16 and limit the 20 rep range for only certain isolations, like maybe your quad extensions or something super nasty where it takes a lot, like calves, abs, that type of thing.
And this is common sense as well, y'all. Your big compound moves, you want to load up the weight. So you're going to do lower reps. Your isolations, you can't really load up the weight.
Right.
So you're going to do higher reps.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes sense.
I'm a wee pound stone. Okay. I will thing is I'm staying with 6 to 10 cable pull downs with 200 pounds. Then do incline bicep curls, small rep range. I just want to keep the mass going. Oh, absolutely. You want to keep growing no matter what, bulking or cutting. So even when you're cutting, you still want to go. It's harder to get the mass, but you still want to make that muscle bigger while you're leaning out. 100%.
I'll tell you, a lot of people use the cutting thing as a cop-out to reduce weight.
Light weights, yep.
I went all the way up until second week out from show before I just physically couldn't lift the weight because of diet.
Yep.
But until that point, I was still progressive overloading. So no excuse there, right? Like keep lifting heavy. And I like it. If you have to cut that back, superset it, right? With something else and keep that going, intensity.
Yeah, 100%. All of us have probably seen Ronnie Coleman front squat 800 pounds. I believe he was pre-contest when he did that, y'all.
Jeez.
So he didn't lighten up his weights when he was pre-contest. I would highly recommend you don't lighten up your weights when you're cutting. All right, we pound stone. Thanks to you too. I lost 2 pounds for keep lifting heavy. All right. Fantastic.
Doing
Keep
some body
it up.
recomposition there.
Yeah, keep it up, baby.
Yeah, for sure. All right. And remember, your sets have to be hard. They have to be close to failure. That's 65 to 85% of your 1 rep max. Otherwise, they don't count as your weekly training volume. So keep that in mind.
I'm going to quote Dorian Yates again. It's bullocks.
And always, always, quality over quantity. The quantity doesn't mean anything if it wasn't done with that gut-busting effort.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I laugh when I say bullocks because nobody in America says it. It's an English word, UK word. So thank you, Dorian. You gave me a laugh. And it's 100% true. If you're not going hard, it's bullocks.
Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Hopefully we could shed some light on why 3 sets of 10 is just, holding you back, honestly, from those gains. So
it's really a mental thing. Like you're going in there with that written down notebook. I'm going to do 3 sets of 10. Well,
right.
That's not the right mindset. You got to walk in there going, I'm going to work harder than last time. I'm going to work harder than anybody else in this gym. I'm going to work hard. It's not even possible for anybody to work harder than me. That's the mindset you got to go in when you go to work out.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. Remember, memberships are live.
Yeah, check them out, man.
Yeah.
We're going to load that membership area up just for members.
That's right. We appreciate that. Super thanks.
Yes.
G Baker 92. That's
G
awesome.
Baker, we appreciate you.
Yeah. And remember, this week we have the chest hypertrophy video coming. So we're showing you the most efficient exercises to grow your chest and telling you about other ones that aren't, that maybe everybody does. And we'll have lots of other great tips for you this week on how to maximize your bench and all sorts of different things. So be on the lookout for those. And as always, make sure you join us next Sunday, every Sunday at 12 Eastern live.
Thanks, y'all.
All right. Bye, everyone. And thank you all on Instagram.